Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Hendrika, your guide to Once Upon an Orchid, and today we are back at the Aspley Orchid Society. Yes, my Orchid Society Mother's Day show, and I'm going to show you around some of the exciting plants that are on display, what are the winners, and thank you very much for enjoying the summer one in February. And yeah, let's get right to it. So we shall start with the ferns this time. I'm going to be doing more of a run through than just some highlights, but because there's some very interesting plants on display. Here we've got the crocodilian fern. This looks like a bird nest fern, but it's called crocodilius. And it's such a fitting name. Look at that. The leaves are like this, looking exactly like the scale or the skin of a crocodile. Then we've got some, the cotton candy fern. It's like fluffy, maidenhair. And then the foliage here. Look at this alocasia. Look at how amazing. When I first came in to look at the plants, I told myself this will definitely get first prize, and it definitely did. And this is a alocasia scalprum. So beautiful. Look at how shiny this is. The person who cared for this definitely has put in a lot of work to make the leaves so shiny. So yeah, so Algonimas, some begonias. This is a jewel orchid. This is the species Ludicea. This color. This is like a true form, and this one is huge. The leaves are huge. Look at this. This is great, beautiful. Look at this one. All right, and yeah, this time I only benched my foliage, my peperomia. Look at this. Look at my sad looking, but the leaves are pretty good as compared to look at the rest of it. We call it no fight. Then the bromeliads, okay, and tillandsias are also part of bromeliad family, and this fluffy thing called Tillandsia tiforum. Okay, we've got first. This spiky looking thing, because in Tillandsia you want it to grow full round, like all around as possible. That's what you want in foliage as well. And this one got third. This is this plant here. Look at these epidendrums. These epidendrums are really great for landscape plants. Look at the big head of flowers here. Look at the size of the flower, big and large. And then we got this one here, and this. Of course, you can't, compare it with a little one. But hey, sometimes when you plant some things, well, it's just luck of the draw. But also depend on your plant quality. Cattleya Alliance species. This Porpax is so cool. Look at how red this one is. This is so red. The leaves are also very red. The anthocyanins are coming through. Could be true due to this plant growing in stronger light. And this one, that second, the flower isn't as red. But this thing is still very well grown. You can see it's in a big, nice, large dish. The non-standard Cattleyas. What are the other exciting ones? I'm just going to do a run through and just going to show you some of the exciting things that I find that exciting. If you have something that you want me to explain in future, let me know in the comments below. If you like this kind of content, also click the like button. So yeah, so I judged this class, the pink class, and the first place is not here. It's because it's gone to the placement over there. It got Best Cattleya, and I'll go there shortly to share with you why so. But look at the white Aren't they stunning? Yeah. Look at how big this one is. Okay. What makes a good Cattleya when we do judging is, of course, especially for whites, it's very easy to find blemishes on them because they are white. You know, sometimes you get tiny spots like this, tiny spots like this. Okay, sometimes we do forgive them because, you know, this thing has got a couple of blooms, so we'll find the best ones. But also, basically, the main thing you got to remember when we judge orchids is about shape and color. So that's what these two criteria gives it the most marks, 66%, 33% each. And then after that, so when you look at the side of the orchid, okay, you want it to be slightly concave, yes, and on the same plane. So everything's on the same plane. And then when you look at the orchid face front, you want to look at the horizontal symmetry and the vertical symmetry. That one makes a quality orchid. Then we'll look at now the rest of it. Not all the categories are full. There's some that, you know, because this year has been very, very wet. So even my own Vandas are not blooming very well. Dendrobium, species that are not native. This one is interesting. This is a Dendrobium jointianum. Look at how the flowers are like bells. Very, very interesting. I think they are more cool growing highland orchids. They do okay in Brisbane because we are subtropical, so it's very much like on the border of how well they do. And then you've got some of the any other hybrid here, which you've got Luturia, some of the, you know, the New Guinean type, and then you've got what we call the Indian type, and then we've got all the hard cane dendrobiums. What I'd like to add is to highlight this one, Inobi Splash. Very popular. I knew it came out when I was living in Singapore. Okay, so I think there's a hybrid made from this. I think this is a hybrid. You can see that it has the Inobi splash layers over here, and they want to make it, I think, trying to make it into a cut flower. That's why, you know, they crossed it with a bigger Dendrobium Fantasy type, with getting it to have a higher flower count as well. So this plant is called Dendrobium Sweet Kisses. I'm going to show you a popular orchid called Fredclarkeara After Dark. Always popular, and people love it because it is so black. So black. Let me know if you feel that this is an orchid that you like. And look at the size of the pseudobulbs. Huge! Oh, this one is very interesting. This is called a Dendrobium secundum. It's known as the toothbrush orchid. And as you can probably tell why it's called toothbrush orchid. The entire plant looks like this. There we go, Dendrobium Fantasy land. If you have yet to see my video about, you know, the difference between the two varieties of Dendrobium Fantasy land, this one is known as Princess. Princess is like this, okay, and Sweetie is looking like this. Go into the link below. This is pretty much Fantasyland peak blooming season right now. So many around here. This is actually quite interesting. This is known as a tropical Cymbidium, where you've got folium background crossed with some of the exhibition, and usually they are not standing up straight. They are a little bit like, you know, horizontal. Yeah, this is in its breeding, and that's what happens. Pocket Firestorm. I'm going to touch a little bit about the Vandaceous Any Other, okay, which is usually the class that I bench, but I've got no plants in bloom for this show, so I'm going to actually discuss about this hybrid. This is an I think it's an Aerides Cockit hybridized with Vascostylus Pine Rivers. And so we've got two specimens right here, right, that one and this one. I'm going to discuss about this. So this being a first flowering seedling, not a clone. There's some variants, as you can see from this. The blooms, okay. The color, wow, it's stunning, right? Very strong pink color. It is full, rounded, with no gaps. Okay, though the flower size is a little bit, I would say, on the small side as compared to this other specimen here. Okay, look at this flower here. Alright, it's not as full rounded as the other one, it's its other sibling. So this one is a little bit larger. The color is not as intense. So therefore, we decided to give this one, okay, see this ribbon here first. For this, even though it's got less flowers, but the quality of the flower is much better than this one. Now onto the champions table. So now we're going to the Australian champion, okay, native of hybrid, and we've got this hybrid here, okay, Dendrobium magentas, Trimelindii or something. Look at this. Look at the stance of the flower. Okay, look at how well it is flowering all around. Like the stance of the flower is all, nice and spaced out. The horizontal symmetry and the vertical symmetry. Okay, it's very, very good, very well balanced, and it is very well flowered as well. Then, just now I was talking about the Cattleya I judged. Okay. So that's why this is the first place, Cattleya and reserve champion of the show, and this is called a Donna Kimura. Look at this, how nice and flat. The colors are clear, no blemishes at all. As when you look at it on the side, it is definitely on the same plane. I'll go on to the novice, first prize. The best Dendrobium hybrid. Okay, the Dendrobium hybrid, I don't know why the sign is here. She put it right here. Dendrobium nopon, green star. And this is actually a very popular cut flower hybrid that is grown for that property, but also makes a great pot plant. Because one thing that I really enjoy about this bloom is how all the flowers are evenly spaced out and it is flowering all around. Very well flowered, very well arrangement, and super healthy plant except for a little bit of black dots. But hey, we're looking more about flower quality than plant health. Paphiopedilum hybrid here, and we got first in these two categories for Paphiopedilum hybrid and any other hybrid. So this is how it looks like. Very good symmetry. This is how we judge Paphiopedilum. It's definitely by symmetry at the front. The side is not too hooded, and even at the back as well. You want very, very good symmetry at the back. Vanda. Like I said, today we're not covering a lot of Vanda because there's not much in its class this time. But this one, very, good spacing, the flower shape. Okay, it's full rounded. As I talked about it in my last video. If you get to see the first Aspley Orchid show video, go have a look at that. And the colors are really clear. So very well deserved first place. And then we've got the Oncidine, which is this plant, which is a Cycopsis. It looks like this. And the last one, before we go to the Grand Champion, for best any other general hybrid, would be this the Frag. The label is incorrect here, but basically here it says Bromeliad. And look at that. Clear, great symmetry, good balance, and look at the side, okay? So now we go to the best of show, which is this Dendrobium Tangerinum. Wow, so many ribbons, so many cards. It's got Champion Orchid, Champion Exotic Species, and champion specimen. Very well deserving, and this thing got an award as well. We got a high class certificate. Look at that. Look at that. Let me show you some of the individual flowers. You see the stance of it, okay, and you know, the stance of the petals, very well, you know, angled. Even the bottom sepals are not all curled back very tightly. It's spaced out. Brilliant purple lip, and look at that. So many spikes, and only a few do not have flower spikes on this plant, but most of them do have. I hope you've enjoyed this little run through of this show at Aspley, the second time and the last one for the year. If you do enjoy, you know, such content, just hit the like button. Let me know if you want me to cover more shows, and if you're in Southeast Queensland, let me know which society do you want me to cover, visit, and stuff like that. I also do orchid talks. Yeah, so if you're interested, just hit me down in the comments and we can discuss about it. Okay, thank you very much for watching till the end. I appreciate you for being here. Till the next video, bye for now.